Cindy Cisneros, owner of Creatively LLC, and this is the Create Well Minutecast. And today we're going to talk about the importance of foundations in creativity. So, as somebody who has studied creativity throughout my career, throughout my higher education, I sometimes take for granted within myself when I speak to others this kind of background that I've built in creativity and in these foundations of creativity, and I forget the journey that I took to get there. And some of the things that I should remember is how small the field of creativity in research and education and creativity is, because the access to it as a result of being small is not broad. The recognition of it is growing, but it's certainly not broad. And the foundation in the knowledge of creativity changed the way that I saw everything, and changes the way you see everything, including yourself, including your creative practice, including your worldview, including the way you live your life, all in fundamentally important and healthy ways. And so I began to realize the more I worked with creative people in a helping capacity, that I could certainly share some of these tips and thoughts in a helping capacity as a counselor and a coach. But what was really necessary was this journey of self-discovery through learning foundations and establishing foundations in creativity that I had had the ability to do for myself. And so I found myself understanding two things, kind of as we've all had a lot of time to think and be in our own heads since the pandemic, with some more time inside and with ourselves. That's kind of how I've thought about these two things. One is this foundation in creativity is pretty life-changing, and I would like to compile and offer it to other creative people as a starting point by which to make these sweeping changes in your life. Because I feel sometimes when I speak to people the need to convince or help them understand my point of view, but it's not necessary. The information is available, and you can decide for yourself and look at this information and feel an understanding and a perspective from looking at it yourself. I don't want others to feel like this is just me giving my point of view back to you. I want you to be able to see and understand and form your own opinions about what's there from the foundation of knowledge that's available, especially because this field is more or less in its infancy. The more minds that are looking at this and considering this, especially creative minds, and developing from these foundational concepts, how wonderful is that? So that's one thing, is I want these foundation blocks to really be available for as many creative minds as possible. And so I'm putting together the creativity courses levels 100 through 300 so that you can piece together and look at this information and decide for yourself what it means and how it applies to you. It truly is life-changing. The second thing that I realized, and many of us realized during the pandemic, is isolation is life-changing. And isolation for artists is, in some ways, it happened more during the pandemic, and I think in some ways we understood it as a reality more during the pandemic. Artists and creative people can be fairly insular. And then you realize on top of that, when you're forced to be insular, that it can be a very lonely space. And so in certain ways, we were kind of forced to be more creative about how we connect. And there were a lot more virtual spaces to connect that were good, but also, again, in their infancy, needed some tweaks, needed some fixes. And so I'm also creating I'm using the word create a lot today. That's fine. It fits. The Creativity Studio to go along with these courses, which is a space that is for creative people. It's a community for creative people to come together, to share their thoughts and ideas as they're understanding these foundations, to support each other as they begin to understand and see the strengths that they have as creative people, see the world, see themselves differently, perhaps, as they're understanding these foundations in creativity, to lift each other up as artists as they're coming up with brand new ideas and concepts. And artists understand the risk that you take by doing this, I think, in a way that it's hard to understand if you haven't done this before. So for us to have a community to share and support each other as we take these risks, and to talk about the ins and outs of your creative practice, of your studio time, of a creative career. It's a really important space to have to lift each other up, understand each other, share ideas, and connect. And so that is the other aspect of the creativity courses, is the creativity studio. And these two things are coming together. They are launching in just a couple of days. I am so energized about it because it just feels so timely and at the same time so long overdue. I would love for you to join me there. Let's see, how can you join me there from here? This video is linked to a blog, creativelyllc.com/blog. The bottom of that article, there should be 3 different options that you can click on to give you access to the courses in the studio right now. Check them out. You can subscribe a month at a time just to kind of see how you like it, how it impacts you, look at the changes it's causing in your life, and whether you approve or not. Yeah, guys, I'm so excited about it. I would love for you to join this wave of excitement, energy, change with me. And if you have any questions, please email me directly. I think that one of the choices I put at the bottom of the article is a consultation so that you can speak with me face-to-face with questions. You can also email me directly at Cindy, CINDY, at creativelyllc.com. All right, take care. Bye-bye.